Welcome to another deep dive today.
And today we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at a career as a homeopath.
Cool.
So think you know what it takes to be a homeopath.
Well, get ready to think differently.
All right.
We got a couple of resources here to help us break down this career.
We've got the RoleCatcher Career Guide for a homeopath.
Okay.
And we've got a list of potential interview questions that someone might be asked when applying to be a homeopath.
Gotcha.
So this is going to be a combo platter deep dive
Nice.
into what it takes to be a homeopath.
So let's get started and jump right in.
Sounds good.
So let's start with the RoleCatcher guide here.
It says that homeopaths use natural substances
Okay.
to stimulate the body's healing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, the remedies often cause similar symptoms in healthy people.
Oh, wow.
It's called the cures-like principle.
Interesting. So, like,
Oh.
how does that work?
I know, it's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
So imagine a substance that makes your skin itch.
A homeopath might use a very diluted version of that same substance.
To actually treat a skin rash.
Oh, so it's like using the poison to cure the poison,
Yeah.
kind of?
Yeah, it's about triggering the body's own defenses.
To heal.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not about just suppressing symptoms.
But using them as a guide to activate the body's...
Natural healing process.
That's fascinating.
I know, it's really cool.
And the guide here, it mentions some pros.
Like having a flexible schedule
Okay.
and the potential to even be self-employed.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
I know it sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But it also brings up some potential cons and challenges, too.
Oh, like what?
Like skepticism from mainstream medicine.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and potentially limited job opportunities.
In some areas.
Okay, so definitely some things to think about.
Right.
So let's actually jump into these sample interview questions now.
And see what we can get out of that.
Okay, that sounds good.
The first one here is, tell us about your educational background and training. What do you think they're really looking for with this question?
Well, I think obviously they want to know if you're qualified.
Sure.
But also I think they want to see like your passion for homeopathy.
Yeah.
And like how strong is your foundation in the principles of it.
Right. So you don't want to just list degree
You want to explain how that education specifically prepared you?
for this particular career.
Makes sense.
Now, here's a challenging one.
Okay.
How did you handle difficult patient cases?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
I imagine this is where they want to see your problem-solving skills in action.
Right, like can you think on your feet?
Exactly.
Like how do you adapt?
The STAR method is really helpful here.
For what method?
The STAR method.
Okay.
So you describe a specific situation,
Oh, sure.
the task you faced,
Uh-huh.
the action that you took.
And then the result that you achieved.
Oh, so like a real-life example.
Exactly, because a
Yeah.
real-life example
That's way more powerful.
than just saying, oh, I'm a great problem solver.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Speaking of challenges, there's a question here about dealing with skeptical patients.
Okay.
It asks, how do you work with patients who are skeptical of homeopathy?
Oh, that's a good one.
That feels like a potential minefield.
Yeah, because you don't want to offend anyone.
Right.
Or come off too strong.
But remember, it's really about respect and education.
So you start by acknowledging their concerns.
Explain that you prioritize informed consent.
And that you're happy to answer any questions that they have.
Yeah, you're not trying to like force anything on them.
Exactly.
So it's really about building trust and focusing on open communication.
Rather than trying to convince them.
That homeopathy is the only way.
Gotcha.
That leads us to this next question.
How do you approach patient care?
Okay.
What do you think about that one?
I think this is your chance to like really highlight.
That you are patient-centered.
Yeah.
That you're committed to individualized treatment plans.
And you're creating like a very supportive environment.
Right. And you could even mention how you incorporate lifestyle recommendations.
And stress management techniques as well.
Yeah, like a holistic approach.
Exactly. And that ties in nicely.
With the guide's emphasis on taking a holistic approach.
It's not just about prescribing remedies.
It's about treating the whole person.
Makes sense.
Okay, this next question here focuses more on knowledge.
Okay.
What are the most important considerations?
When prescribing a homeopathic remedy,
Oh, that's a big one.
this is where your expertise shines through.
They want to see that you understand.
The nuances of remedy selection.
Okay?
So you could talk about considering the totality of symptoms
The patient's individual constitution.
and the principles of potency and dilution.
So, really showing your deep knowledge.
Yes, it's also a great chance to highlight your knowledge.
Of materia medica,
Oh.
which is that vast collection of homeopathic remedies.
And their properties.
Gotcha.
Okay. This next question seems a bit straightforward,
Okay.
but could actually be pretty tricky.
Oh, like what?
Why did you choose to become a homeopath?
Oh, yeah. Why?
Now, don't underestimate this one.
This is an opportunity to share your personal story.
And what drew you to this field?
Ah.
So you could talk about your passion for natural healing, your belief in the body's innate ability to heal itself.
Or any personal experiences?
That shaped your decision.
So it's more about like the why.
Exactly.
And your personal connection.
To this field.
Gotcha.
Because being authentic resonates.
It makes you more relatable.
And ultimately more memorable.
Makes sense.
And I can definitely see how practicing these answers
with RoleCatcher's AI could be super helpful.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze these questions.
And analyze your practice answers.
And tailor them to specific job roles.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
You'll get feedback
on how you're coming across.
And suggestions on how to strengthen your responses.
So it's like having a coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It's like having a personal interview coach.
Right there in your pocket.
That's awesome.
It's a huge advantage in a field like homeopathy. And demonstrating your expertise is so crucial.
For sure.
Let's dive into some more of these interview questions.
There are a few here
that look particularly interesting.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so picking up where we left off, let's look at another interview question here.
It says, how do you stay up to date?
With the latest research and advancements in homeopathy.
This one's all about showing your commitment.
To professional growth.
Yeah, it's a fast-evolving field.
They definitely want to see that you're actively engaged.
In continuing education and
staying informed about new developments.
Right. So mention any specific journals or publications that you follow.
Okay.
Any online courses that you've taken or conferences you've attended.
That really shows that you're passionate about
staying at the forefront of homeopathic practice.
That makes sense.
It demonstrates that you're dedicated to lifelong learning.
Which is really important in any healthcare field.
For sure.
Okay, this next question seems geared towards
assessing your practical skills.
Okay.
Describe a time when you had to adjust a treatment plan.
Based on a patient's response.
Oh, that's interesting.
So this is where your ability to think on your feet
and adapt your approach really comes into play.
Right.
So use the STAR method again here.
To outline the situation, the challenges that you face.
How you adjusted your plan, and then the positive outcome
that you were able to achieve.
Okay, so like a real success story.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to showcase your clinical reasoning skills.
And your ability to personalize those treatment plans.
Makes sense.
All right, this question about managing workload is interesting.
Okay, what does it say?
How do you prioritize patient care?
When faced with a busy schedule.
Oh, that's a good one.
So this is about demonstrating your organizational skills.
Right, and your time management abilities.
Right.
So you can talk about using scheduling tools.
Okay.
Delegating tasks when it's appropriate.
And setting those realistic expectations.
Don't forget to mention self-care.
Oh, yeah, that's super important.
It's crucial to maintain a healthy work-life balance.
To avoid burnout and provide the best possible care to your patients.
Right. Because if you're not taking care of yourself...
Yeah, can't take care of anyone else.
Exactly.
Speaking of self-care, this next question is about ethics.
Okay.
It says, discuss the ethical considerations
involved in practicing homeopathy. So this dives into the importance of informed consent.
Okay.
Respecting patient autonomy.
And maintaining confidentiality.
Those are all really important.
You might also mention the ethical dilemma.
Of treating conditions that may require...
conventional medical intervention?
Yeah, like when do you refer out to another doctor?
Exactly.
It's a chance to really showcase your understanding
of the ethical principles
that guide this entire practice.
Makes sense.
Now let's get into a question.
That comes up pretty often, I imagine.
Okay.
How do you explain the principles of homeopathy?
To someone who's unfamiliar with it.
Oh, that's a good one.
This really tests your communication skills.
And your ability to explain complex concepts very clearly.
Right.
So use simple language.
Avoid any kind of jargon.
And really focus on the key principles, like cures, like individualized treatment.
And stimulating the body's own healing capacity.
So like meeting them where they're at.
Yeah, you could even use analogies or real-life examples.
To make it more relatable.
And I guess it's important to be patient, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Be patient and respectful of their perspective.
Even if they might be skeptical.
Yeah, for sure.
This question about alternative therapies is intriguing.
Okay, let's hear it.
It asks, how do you view the role of homeopathy?
In relation to other complementary and alternative therapies.
So like how it fits in with the bigger picture.
Exactly. So this is about showing your understanding
of homeopathy's place
within that broader spectrum of healthcare options.
Gotcha.
You might talk about how homeopathy can complement other modalities.
Like acupuncture
Oh,
or
yeah.
herbal medicine.
This is also a chance to discuss your philosophy
On integrative medicine.
and how you collaborate with other healthcare professionals.
Yeah, like working as a team.
Exactly.
Now, for a question that I think a lot of candidates dread,
Oh, boy.
it asks, what are your weaknesses as a homeopath?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Now, don't panic.
This isn't about sabotaging yourself.
It's about being honest but strategic.
Okay.
So choose a weakness that you're actively working to improve.
And explain the steps you're taking to address it.
So like turning it into a positive
Right. You're showing self-awareness.
and a commitment to professional growth.
I like that.
For example, you could mention a tendency to maybe get too caught up in the details
That's
and
right.
explain that you're developing strategies.
To manage your time more effectively.
So you're always learning and growing.
Exactly.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can really help you.
Frame your weaknesses into strengths.
Oh, how so?
Their AI can analyze your answers
And suggest ways to rephrase them.
to highlight your positive attributes.
That's cool.
So instead of saying,
I'm sometimes too detail-oriented. You could say, I'm deeply committed to thoroughness and accuracy.
which can sometimes lead me to spend extra time on certain tasks.
Yeah, that sounds way better.
It's a subtle shift in the language.
But it makes a big difference in how you're perceived.
Right.
This next question asks about your vision for the future.
Okay.
Where do you see the future of homeopathy heading?
Hmm.
So this is a chance to show your enthusiasm for the field.
And your understanding of its potential.
Gotcha.
So talk about emerging trends, like the growing interest in integrative medicine,
The increasing scientific research on homeopathy.
or the potential for personalized medicine.
So you're painting a positive picture.
Exactly.
It's about painting a positive and hopeful picture.
Of homeopathy's role in the future of healthcare.
That makes sense.
Let's dive into a few more of these questions here.
I mean, they really cover a wide range of topics.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we've talked a lot about these interview questions.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Exploring the challenges and rewards of a career in homeopathy.
We've seen how that, cures, principle,
Guides treatment.
and how homeopaths approach patient care holistically.
But let's not forget about technology.
Oh, yeah, right.
It can play a big role in this journey, too.
For sure, RoleCatcher's AI tools are a game changer.
For anyone preparing for a homeopathy interview,
It's like having a secret weapon.
to help you stand out and showcase that expertise.
Right. Their AI can analyze job descriptions,
And suggest tailored improvements for your resume and cover letter.
making sure that you're highlighting the most relevant skills, experience,
It's like having a personal branding expert.
working behind the scenes to make sure your application shines.
And their AI-powered interview practice feature is also great.
You can practice answering those common interview questions.
And get feedback on your delivery content and body language.
It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
Who can pinpoint areas for improvement and boost your confidence.
Totally.
Now let's wrap up by talking about the bigger picture.
Okay.
If you were to create your own homeopathy practice,
What would make it special? What would make it unique?
that's a good question.
I think for me, it would be about creating a space
Where patients feel truly heard and understood
where they can really explore the full potential.
of their body's innate ability to heal.
I envision a future where homeopathy is integrated seamlessly,
With other healthcare modalities.
offering a truly holistic and personalized approach to well-being.
That's a beautiful vision.
It's about empowering people to take an active role.
In their health and their healing.
For sure.
So to our listeners out there who are on this journey,
To becoming a homeopath.
remember that RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
Use their tools.
Embrace your passion and never stop learning.
And as you navigate this fascinating field,
Always remember to approach your practice with compassion.
integrity and a deep respect for the body's innate wisdom.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
And remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Take that step, dive deep, and embrace the incredible world of homeopathy.